CNN Breaking News.
Everyone, my name is Cristina, it's 11 a.m. and this is the English TV news program. Remember, I'm always here from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. to keep you informed. So, the first thing in the schedule of today is a story about two kids. These kind of news are the ones that make us question the relation between media and violent kids. To give you an introduction about this news, it's about one kid that got influenced by violent video games and another that didn't because he's not exposed to this kind of media. To give you complete information, we brought two guests, Dr. Martinez, that is an expert in media and kids, and Pichi Zabal, that is a psychologist specialized in children. First, Dr. Martinez is going to answer some of the questions that the public may have while seeing the story, like why boys are more vulnerable to get affected by violent media, etc. And Pichi Zabal is going to give us some tips and recommendations for the parents to avoid the bad effects of media in their kids. So, let's go with Dr. Martinez.
So thanks, Chris. As she said, I'm Dr. Martinez, and I will be talking about the negative effects that video games have in children, especially boys. So first, let's be honest, video games are by far not the worst things kids and teens could be doing, but still video games are an unknown territory for parents. Many parents nowadays struggle to make and enforce rules for their children. If you're a parent who doesn't know much about video games but who has kids that love them, in this program, you will be answering some of your questions, and after hearing Dr. Zabal with her tips, this struggle will be easier. So, first of all, nowadays, video games are one of the favorite activities of children, especially boys. Recently, investigations have shown that abstract video games develop on children aggressive attitudes and behaviors. Studies have also shown that the boys that are frequently fighting or bullying at school are the ones that play aggressive video games the most. Also, playing this type of video games is in insane amount of time have shown us lower ability of reflection than boys who play with limits. Each of these predictions is supported by the most recently investigations in little boys' behavior. So there are three main consequences that violent video games have on children, and they are: the first one is that they will start learning violent attitudes and behaviors. The second one is that they will stop feeling bad towards victims of violence, and they will exaggerate their fear of being victimized by violence. So as you can see, there are many important effects that violent video games cause in children. And this is important because this is a time of their lives where they start to distinguish things that are good and bad. So video games influence a lot in this way of thinking, and it's also a time of their lives where the brain is developing. So this can have many repercussions. We'll go with Ale Romero that it's interviewing Tommy and Brian, who are two children that play video games, and then we'll hear Pichi Zabal, a psychologist, on this topic that will give parents some tips of how to control their children. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Martinez. You gave us some interesting information about this theme. And now let's go with Alejandra, that is right now with Tommy and Brian, to hear their story.
Hello, and thank you, Cristina and Mariana, for that amazing report. Here we go with some kids who have played violent video games, and then others who play video games for their age. Here we are with some exceptional kids. Their names are...
I'm Brian.
And what is your name? Sweetie, your name?
Tommy!
Tommy, hello. So, I want to ask you a few questions about your habits and how you play video games and your life. What are some video games that you enjoy on a daily basis?
I always enjoy playing video games that can help me to develop my intelligence and my brain abilities. So I always play like mathematical video games or.
That's bullshit!
No, that's very good for you.
Yes.
Continue, please.
My parents always put me like a schedule, so I need to first do my homework. If I don't do my homework, I cannot play. There are some times that I prefer going to the park with my friends than playing video games. But when I play them, I can only play an hour a day.
That's excellent. So now we'll go with Tommy. Tommy, what are some video games that you enjoy?
Aggressive! Aggressive video games!
Like, for example,
Like shooting to civilian people.
why do you enjoy that, Tommy? And what do your parents say about these video games that you play?
They're never at home.
So they don't supervise what you do.
Never! I do whatever I want to.
Okay, Tommy. And who buys these video games for you?
My big brother, Penny,
How old is your big brother?
20.
So what do your parents say about this conduct?
What conduct?
The one that you're having right now. Very aggressive, very violent.
I don't talk to them.
Okay. So why are you sitting that way? Why is your posture like that?
Are you judging me?
No, I'm just pointing it out.
Because I play video games all day long, so I develop a hump.
And how do you feel about that?
I don't think about it. I just think about video games. I want to pee.
Okay, you can go to the bathroom.
I'm a little scared about that guy. Why is he behaving like that?
I hate that weird kid.
Tommy is behaving that way because he now thinks that aggression and violence is normal and it's part of the way that we socialize.
Doesn't he has parents that tell him not to do that or tell him not to think that?
He's a very troubled kid who has no parents who are present in his life.
That's sad.
That's very sad. Tommy, nice for you to come here. Please take a seat. And so now we're going to get into their sleeping habits and how video games. Yes, here?
He has a strange face.
Tommy? Tommy?
Eh,
Why are you making that face?
I was thinking about video games.
Okay, so now we're going to ask you a little bit. Do you sleep, Tommy?
Like 3, 4, and in front of the TV, the
So-
couch.
So you don't go to a bed to sleep?
Not always.
How many times a week would you say that you sleep on a bed?
Like 2,
2 times a week.
yeah, sort of.
Okay. Now we go.
I sleep 8 hours per day. My parents always take me to bed. That's all. I sleep a lot, all day, every day I sleep.
Tommy, that's not nice. Why did you do that?
What?
Why did you tell me a little bit about your eating habits, Brian?
Well, I eat healthy all week. Only on Fridays, my parents give me chance
Tommy, respectfully.
to eat some fries.
What is healthy food?
Healthy food like fruits, vegetables. You don't eat those things?
No.
Okay. Do you exercise?
Never.
Never.
No, I am only in the couch.
All day?
Almost.
And
I only stand up when I have to pee
okay, Tommy.
and poo.
Okay.
Poop.
Okay. So, Brian, do you exercise?
Yes, I do. I go to the gym from Monday to Thursday,
Okay.
1 hour
Very
every
good.
day. And sometimes I like to go running on weekends with my parents.
And Tommy, what were you doing just now? But you don't have a controller.
Imagination!
Okay, very good. You have imagination. And Ryan, how is your development in school? Like grades, the friends you have?
I have really good grades, and I have a lot of friends. I love to study. I like studying. It's not like a.
Sorry for the interruption. As you can see, Tommy went crazy. And now we are hearing Dr. Zabal, that is a psychologist in this topic, for parents to have some tips.
Oh, hi. Hello, I am Peach Zabal and I'm a psychologist specialized in treating children. And today I'm going to give you some tips for parents to avoid violence in their children. I heard about this Tommy guy. I know you are freaking out a little bit, but let me tell you some tips for your children to stop being violent and stop playing video games or see TV shows that cause these actions. Well, the first tip I can give you is to pay attention to the programs that your children are watching and watch some of them with them. With this you can see the programs that your children are watching, and you can be aware of what the television is showing to them. The second tip I can give you is set limits on the amount of time they spend with the television. Consider removing the TV set from the child's bedroom. I personally like this tip because it is really important to do a schedule so your children can do their homework, they can play with friends, they can have time for their family, to eat healthy and do some exercise. And at the end they can watch TV and play video games. Well, the amount of time children watching TV, regardless of content, should be moderated because it decreases time spent on more beneficial activities such as reading, playing with friends, and developing hobbies like I just said like a time ago. And well, those were the tips I could give you today. I hope this Tommy guy follows, well, the parent of Tommy, you need to follow these little tips. Thank you, I need to go to work.
Now, with Dr. Martinez's information, Peach's recommendations, and the story of Tommy and Brian, we can see how evident it is that media actually makes an influence in boys. It is very dangerous if it is violent media because it can have many effects in the kids. And that's it for today. See you tomorrow.
This is CNN Breaking News.